The topic today is the Methodist Church and higher education, and Dr. Hobson has given us information in reference to the activities of the Methodist Church as well as the United Methodist Church dealing with higher education. But I think, Doctor, that there is one fund that you are responsible for and that you administer, and this is referred to as the Black College Fund.
Yes.
And I think you've also indicated that there are hundreds of institutions, higher education institutions within the church, but there are some specific institutions I think that you are concerned with, and these are the institutions that are recipients of funds from this Black College Fund, and from what I understand that there's always a need there. And so let's talk about the Black College Fund and how it came into being and what it is and what it is not.
The Black College Fund is a gift to the 11 historically black colleges and universities that are related to the United Methodist Church, and it is a precious gift. It has been in existence since 1972, and how we get the funding comes from every United Methodist Church in the U.S. Each one is assessed so much money, and it comes to us directly from their local church treasurers through the General Commission on Finance and Administration. And it supports Bennett College for Women, Bethune-Cookman University, Claflin University in Orangeburg, South Carolina, Clark Atlanta, my alma mater, Dillon University in New Orleans, Houston-Tillotson University in Austin, Texas, and here in Nashville, I am so proud that it supports Meharry Medical College. And most people don't know that Meharry is United Methodist related. Then there's Payne College in Augusta, Georgia, Philander Smith College in Little Rock, Arkansas, Russ College in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and then Wiley College, home of the great debaters, in Marshall, Texas. And because there is this additional support that comes from the United Methodist Church, I think our 11 schools are among the strongest and most progressive of the HBCUs. And certainly there are a lot more schools. But the United Methodist Church has more HBCUs than anybody else, and I'm really very proud of that.
And it says something about the Methodist commitment to higher education in a real sense.
Continued commitment. We were there at the very beginning in 1866 with the Freedmen's Aid Society to help empower the newly freed slaves, and so from that day to this one, as my grandmother would say, we have been involved in empowering and enabling young people to get an education so they can have a better way of life. The Black College Fund gets confused all the time with the United Negro College Fund because most people hear the advertisements for the UNCF and they know that logo of mine is a terrible thing to waste. But the Black College Fund just supports those 11 schools that are related to the United Methodist Church. And one of the things that we need to make sure we say is that the fund supports the schools so that all of the money that comes in goes back out. We have very low administrative costs, about 3% of all the money that comes in is used for administration, and then the rest goes directly to the schools. We give them the money so that they can keep their facilities updated, be competitive in any and every way that they can possibly compete, because everybody's looking for that super student, that National Merit Scholar, those students that really, really have to have some big dollars to come to HBCUs these days. There was a time when there was nowhere else for students to go who were of African American descent. But the thing that I love about our schools is that they have always been open to anybody and everybody who had a dream. It didn't matter what their race or creed or color was, they were always welcome. And today our schools are some of the most diverse anywhere. I was at Wiley College last year at an ethical student leadership conference, and I thought I was at the UN. There were people of all shades, and they were speaking in all kinds of languages, and I just kind of looked around and thought, where am I? But we have a wonderful gathering of world-class scholars, and the research that goes on at these schools is amazing. And one of the challenges continues to be those dollars. We've got to have more money to continue to support the schools.
Now, how's the tuition at these schools compared to perhaps tuitions at some of the other state-supported institutions?
It looks a little confusing because on the surface it may seem like those schools are more expensive than state schools or community colleges, but when you look at the kind of nurturing that goes on at the schools, when you look at what all the pieces of the puzzle do to create this wonderful graduate, they're very, very much in line with the neighbors down the street. And in many instances, our schools are right across the fence from a state schools and many times state HBCUs. And so they can hold their own. They really can, because we work to keep our tuition low. That's one of the things that the Black College Fund supports. They support honors programs, travel for their faculty to do research and conferences and things like that. So it's a real gift. And the thing that I love about it is that most of the funding is unrestricted. Many people want to give you money for a building that has their name on it, or they want to fund this or that or the other, but the money that comes from the United Methodist Church goes to the schools. And so today, if they need to fix the roofs.
The funds are there.
The funds are there, and we don't ask them any questions about, okay, so what did you do with that money today? It's a special gift. Now, they do have some special projects that they have to apply for, but for the most part, the money goes to the schools every month regularly so that they can depend on that in their budget. Now, I don't think that if we didn't give them any money, they would all go out of business tomorrow. But I tell you what, it is such a gift, so that when we do help them, they're able to nurture the students, and the students they turn out are absolutely amazing. Was just at a Meharry function and looked at one of the Black College Fund ambassadors, and he was just so shiny. He was confident and well-trained, off to Baylor University to do residency, and so the students can compete with anybody, anywhere. They do very well in graduate school, and they're wonderful in every way.
You know, I wanted you to say something specific about Meharry Medical College, because it's been there a long time, and you went on to talk about it as if I had already, and that's exactly what, and I think that it has left an impression on you, as if as the institution is really doing a lot of good and positive things. Is that what we say?
Listen, they have research about what happens with seatbelt use, and Dr. Hildreth and his AIDS research is blessing the world, the worldwide. And so if you look at any of the schools, they are all unique, and even though they look like they might all be about the same, they're each unique. At Claflin University, they have research on prostate cancer and miscarriages, and they're trying to solve so many of the world's problems today, and that's happening at our neighborhood HBCU, and that's the thing that is absolutely amazing. We give them capital funding so that they can keep their facilities up to date and attractive, so they can attract the best and the brightest students, because nobody really wants to go somewhere where they've not been doing good upkeep and things like that. So the money is a real gift, and certainly we need some more. Dr. Johnetta Cole made a point to me about 4 years ago, when she was still president at Bennett, that if we added the endowment of all the HBCUs together, we still wouldn't have as much money as a Harvard or even a Vanderbilt. And so the schools are always struggling to make sure that they can not just pay their bills, but to fund the dreams and hopes of the students and the faculty. So we need additional funding from our audience, and from, we need good students. We're always looking for those top of the line students. And of course, we take students who just have a dream. They may not have ever heard that they could do a good job in school because they've not been successful in the past, but the schools are open and welcoming.
And who could say that each might be another Hobson? In the real sense, you're from Clark, and I would imagine that what you're talking about really is your own rise and your own ability to be able to move from one place to another with the support of such institutions. And so I think you're just you're an example of what the institutions are doing, and that's what we were trying to get across today. That these institutions still need some support. You see, and no matter what they're doing, they really need some support, and that they've got excellent institutions as well as excellent examples of what these institutions are doing. And so that's why we wanted to talk to you about these institutions as well as the church itself. And let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.